Hey now, I want to make a second video and I just want to talk about the changes to the Baseball Hall of Fame. As many of you know, two major things happened this week. Number one is Trump talked about he was going to possibly pardon Pete Rose. And number two is the Hall of Fame made a changes to the Era Committee election, which basically said that currently, based on the 16-member Era Committee, who get 3 votes each, that if a player gets 5 or fewer votes during a ballot, they cannot appear on the next ballot, which is currently a 3-year cycle. And then 6 years from now, if that player happens to get back on the ballot and they don't get 5 votes again, they are currently ineligible from ever appearing on a ballot again. I love that rule and I hate that rule. Let's start with Pete Rose first. So Trump came out last week and he said he's going to pardon Pete Rose. Now, Pete Rose was guilty of tax evasion in like the late 1990s. It did serve some time in jail for that. Pete Rose being banned from baseball, there's nothing Trump can do to change that ban. That being said, there's rumors that Rob Manfred is considering lifting that ban, that ban was considered a lifetime ban. And now that Pete Rose is no longer alive, the ban should be over and he could be eligible again. Now, that being said, the writers who create the Veterans Committee would still theoretically have to put him on the ballots. He would not appear, since they just voted on that ballot, another 3 years from now. So the soonest Pete Rose theoretically could get inducted is 2028. I don't know if that's going to happen. I really don't know what's going to happen. I don't like the idea of it happening because once they do that, even though I think Pete Rose on the field is a tremendous, tremendous player, no question, first ballot, maybe unanimous Hall of Famer. I mean, once you open Pandora's box, I don't know where it ends. Does Joe Jackson get in? Do like the other 8-man out like get in? I don't know where it ends. I imagine that if Pete Rose gets taken off the list, others will also. I've also had conversations with Hall of Famers, and most of them, not all of them, many of them say that Pete Rose should not be in the Hall of Fame. Like on day one, when you come in the door, there's really only one rule. And that rule was don't gamble on baseball. Whether to win, whether to lose. First, Pete Rose says he never gambled on baseball, which obviously turned out to be a incredulous lie. Then he said, I did gamble, but I never gambled on my team to lose. I mean, it doesn't matter. He broke the number one rule in baseball. And unfortunately, even though I think Pete Rose is a tremendous player, I feel he shouldn't be taken off the baseball ineligible list because of the fact that he broke the number one rule. But if he does, it's like I said, it'll be a Pandora's box. I think Joe Jackson could get in the Hall of Fame theoretically if that happens. So let's move from Pete Rose to the changes in the Errors Committee. So a lot of people say the reason why they did this is to get rid of the backlog in the Hall of Fame. But that's the official reason. The unofficial reason they think is the backlog is really these steroids players, the Bonds, the Sosas, the Clemens. So what this is saying is the Bonds comes on the ballot, let's say theoretically this year. He doesn't, it literally would be this year again where he would get on the ballot. And he doesn't get like at most 5 votes. He can't be on the ballot again 3 years from now. But he can be on again, let's say 6 years from now, or 9 years from now, or 12 years from now. And assuming that the ballot the rules don't change. And my guess is this rule will change again. That's like what they said the Negro Leaguers the book was closed after 2006. And they opened the book up, which I'm happy about. So they're saying they can't, once they get on again a second time, again, assuming they don't change, and it's still the 16-member committee who only gets 3 votes, remember. Assuming he does get 5 votes total, and 3 votes is not a lot of votes at all. I think then, let's say Bonds is on a second time for wherever down the line, or Sosa or whoever, he could never appear on the committee again, the Errors Committee again. Maybe they'll create a special committee for steroid users, the Negro Leaguers. I don't know. Anything's possible. That being said, he would never appear on it again. And I get the backlog maybe for living players. I don't like the fact that I feel by giving the voters only 3 votes, it really restricts how many players they can vote for. I know a lot of times, even the most recent Veterans Committee, I felt that 3 votes is so few. I really feel the John Donaldsons and the Vic Harrises, which I know I love the Negro Leaguers. I'm slated to them. But, like, I mean, that's great. Let's get Roger Maris done. He should never come up again. I think Steve Garvey, again, should never come up again. I mean, there's certain players I agree that come up year after year. I don't know why. But, again, I think that doing this, I mean, eventually it's going to create a really strong ballot. If you keep doing this 10, 20 years from now and having only 3 votes is insane to me. It's so few votes. And I really don't like it that we're currently 150 years of baseball locked into one era committee every 3 years. And I can see the arguments that the Bill Downs of the world, even though I have Bill Downs autograph, so I'm going to advocate for him, but I can see the argument like, listen, he's got plenty of chances. Let's get him off this ballot. But at the same time, I feel bad for the Negro Leaguers who really never did have a chance. Maybe you could say they did, but I don't think they did because the new stats are coming forward every single day. And maybe the Doc Adams of the world may get pinched out of this. So not a fan to a certain extent. I think if they create this rule, they need to increase the number of votes they give to the Veterans Committee. And they really, I've never been in a room. I would love to be a fly on the wall with these votes, but I'm not. I would love to know how serious they weigh some of these candidates, because if you are, let's say, Dale Murphy, and you think you want to get in, and they go, oh, Dale Murphy, no, next. I mean, he may never be eligible again come 6 years from now, which is, I mean, kind of sad. Some people have seen on the committee many, many, many times, and eventually they get their way to the top and get in to the Hall of Fame, the baseball's highest honor. So that's my thought. If you're going to put this rule in, increase the number of votes that they're allowed to do within the room. So I appreciate you sticking around 7 minutes of ranting about Rose and the new changes. And as always, watch my other video I just dropped regarding, who was it? Ernie Lombardi, and keep collecting.